Hi everyone, Mars bars are among the top 3 most popular chocolate bars in the world. And today I'm going to make a giant version of it. Now this is actually one of the trickiest bars to scale up, but I'm hoping it'll work out. Step 1, we need to study the original. Let's unwrap it. On the outside, nothing special, just chocolate with a bit of texture. Let's cut it open and check the filling. Inside, there's soft gooey caramel, fluffy chocolate nougat, and of course, that milk chocolate coating. Time to taste it. Sweet, rich, and delicious. And you know what? The caramel has a very faint nutty flavor. Looking at the ingredients, it turns out Mars does have peanuts and hazelnuts in it. So let's head to the store and get everything we need for our giant Mars bar. First stop, the sugar aisle. We're gonna need a lot of it. Then milk chocolate. They were out of big packs, so I had to grab smaller ones. 2 packs of cocoa powder, some vanilla, dry milk. A bag of hazelnuts and a pack of peanuts go straight into the cart. And next up, heavy cream, 14 bottles of it. 2 whole boxes of butter, and 5 bottles of egg whites. Although the cart is full, it's time to check out. Groceries go onto the conveyor belt, and then we pack them up on the other side. In total, all of this cost us about $500. Now, let's start making our giant Mars bar, beginning with the chocolate. We're gonna pour a bag of chocolate drops into a large container, add another bag, and then set it over a water bath. We're gonna put the heat on medium and then turn the machine on. The chocolate begins to melt, so we're going to stir it from time to time to keep the bottom from overheating. And then we'll keep going like this until it's completely melted. All done. Now we need a special mold for the giant bar. We're going to line the bottom and sides with perfectly sized wooden boards. And then secure the mold in place. Now it's time to bring over the container of melted chocolate and pour it into the bottom. All that's left is to spread it with a spatula so the layer is the same thickness all the way around. All done. Next, we need to make the fluffy nougat. For that, I bought this giant planetary mixer. But before we use it, we need to make the caramel. And for that, we're going to need corn syrup. We're gonna open the bag right over the pot. It's essential to keep the caramel stable and stop the sugar from crystallizing. Everything is calculated, so the rest of the syrup goes in by small buckets. Now we need a lot of sugar. We're going to pour it straight into the pot. All done. Then we're going to add water. And stir until every grain of sugar is wet. After that, we're going to turn on our super powerful burner. Cover the pot with a lid to bring it to boil faster, and then 20 minutes later, the caramel is cooking, but it's still far from ready. To make sure we don't miss the exact moment that it's done, we're going to use a thermometer and keep it cooking. After another hour, we finally reach the right caramel temperature. It's time to turn off the heat. Now we need the egg whites. We're gonna pour about 1.5 bottles into the bowl of our giant mixer. To help them whip better, we're gonna add some salt. We're gonna raise the bowl, pull the guard into place, and then start the mixer. After 3 minutes, we're gonna stop it and adjust the speed and then keep whipping the egg whites. What we're aiming for is a nice fluffy foam. Now it's time to scoop out some of our caramel with a ladle and bring it over to the mixer. Without stopping the whipping, we're going to slowly drizzle the caramel into the egg foam. The whites set evenly and trap the air bubbles. The syrup is so hot that it pasteurizes instantly. No bacteria can survive in this nougat. In total, we're going to need 6 ladles of caramel. In the end, we get a full bowl of airy nougat. So it's time to switch the mixer off, and our classic nougat is ready. But in a Mars bar, the nougat isn't classic. They add dry milk to it. So we're gonna do the same thing. And since we're making 3 batches of nougat overall, we're gonna divide the dry milk evenly between 3 bowls. Mars nougat also includes cocoa powder, so we're gonna open it up and add that to the bowls also. And now we whisk everything together. All done. Lower the bowl with the nougat, unlock the clamps, and then move it onto the table. And don't forget to take out the whisk. We're gonna add the powder to the nougat in a few stages so it doesn't lose its fluffiness. And then we're going to gently fold it in with a spatula. We're going to keep sprinkling in the dry mix little by little and folding it through. And that's it. The first batch of Mars-style nougat is ready. While the mold is still light, we're gonna set it in the freezer and then pour in the first batch of nougat. We're gonna close the freezer. And now it's time to make the second batch. So egg whites go back into the bowl and we're gonna start up the mixer again. We're going to repeat the caramel step exactly the same way. And all that's left is to fold in the milk cocoa powder. All done. The second batch of nougat goes into the mold. And then we're going to prepare the last third batch. And pour that in as well. And now we're going to let this giant set. The next step is soft caramel. For extra flavor, we're going to use nuts. We open a pack of hazelnuts and spread them out on a baking tray. Then we're going to add peanuts and spread them evenly and put the tray in the oven to roast so the nuts become more aromatic. Just 15 minutes and they're done. The aroma is now 3 times stronger. But we don't need them whole. We're going to grind them in a melanger. Add them in gradually so that the machine works properly. The heavy stone rollers crush the nuts, slowly turning them into a paste. We just need to wait about a half an hour. Our nut paste is ready, so we're going to pour it into a bowl. This small amount will be enough to give our caramel a light nutty flavor. So let's get started on it. The process is the same as last time. First, pour the corn syrup into the bottom of the pot. Then add sugar and a little water to moisten it. Turn on the burner and then just wait for the caramel to cook. This time, the foam is more golden, and the caramel turns a deep amber color since we've cooked it longer than we did for the nougat. Now we're going to take a smaller pot and pour in the heavy cream. We're going to keep doing this until the bottles are empty. All done. Now we need to heat the cream because we're going to pour it into hot caramel, and if we don't, it'll boil over violently. The cream has to be hot. Now we can safely pour it into the caramel. And mix it in gradually. At this stage, we're going to reheat the caramel once more. In goes the nut paste. Also, a good amount of salt to balance the sweetness. And of course, a lot of butter. We're going to unwrap it and drop it straight into the pot. We're going to add 2 whole boxes in total. Then we're going to fold it into the caramel with a spatula. And that's it. The soft caramel for our Mars bar is ready. Now, just to be sure, we're going to hit it with an immersion blender so that it's perfectly smooth. All done. We're going to take it off the heat and pour it into the mold. Now we wait for it to cool. The goal isn't to freeze the caramel, but just to chill it so that it stays soft. Time to take the mold out of the freezer. We're going to unclip the fasteners and open up the sides of the mold. Using a spray bottle, we're going to mist the inside walls with water and then press on acetate film. The boards can now be removed. It looks like pouring the caramel while it was hot was not the best idea. It melted the nougat a bit and mixed into it. So we're gonna put the sides back in place and lock them. The space where the boards were will now be filled with chocolate, but to keep it from leaking out through the gaps at the bottom, we're gonna wrap the mold in plastic film. All done. Finally, we're going to move on to the chocolate and start shaping the texture. For this, we're going to need a grinder. We're going to fill it with chocolate drops. Close the lid and then turn it on. Three minutes later, we have a smooth chocolate paste that we use to mold the details onto the surface. We've made plenty of different shaped pieces, so now we're going to take them and place them on top of the bar. To quickly melt this record-breaking amount of chocolate, we need a giant steam bath. We're going to fill it with water, set 3 containers on top, and then pour in the chocolate. All right, it's time to turn on the heat, and stirring constantly, we're going to melt down all of the milk chocolate. All done. We're going to take the containers out of the steam bath, and first of all, we're going to pour the chocolate along the walls of our giant Mars bar. Now I need this kind of massage gun because we're going to press it against the side and the vibrations are going to push out all of the air bubbles so that the chocolate fills in without gaps. Then we're going to pour the rest of the chocolate on top and wait for it to set. The plastic wrap is no longer needed. Now we're going to open the mold and peel off the acetate sheets. We're also going to round off the edges a bit with knives. And that's it. Our giant Mars bar is completely finished. I think it looks a lot like the original. The weight of our Mega Bar is 170 kilograms, and making it took us 4 whole days. The only thing I don't love are the cracks in the chocolate. Now it's time to cut it open and see what's inside. It's clear now that the huge mass of soft caramel is pressing down on the chocolate, and it just can't handle the weight. Compared to the original bar, our cut looks much messier since there's no sharp separation between the layers. To taste it all together, I broke off a piece of chocolate and scooped up some of the mixed filling. Surprisingly, the flavor is a 99% match to the original, almost identical. Before the caramel completely crushed our giant bar, I scooped the filling into paper containers. Sprinkled chocolate shavings on top and turned it into Mars desserts. We're gonna set the finished desserts out on the table and cover them with lids. We filled up a huge number of containers, loaded them into the trunk, and brought them to kids in need. The older kids unloaded everything and then handed it out to the younger ones. And then they all dug into our Mars dessert. It looks like they really enjoyed the taste. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.